to do. Hold on, baby, Rhonda Shear's got you. Grab your computer, log on, baby, you got the power. It's the Rhonda Shear Social Live. It's the Rhonda Shear Social Live.
It's Saturday. It's Rhonda time. It's RhondaShearSocialHour.com or Rhonda Shear Social Hour. Welcome. We are just building up a huge audience. Now, if you don't catch us here tonight, you can go to RhondaShearSocialHour.com and see past shows. You can go on Twitter. You please join me on Facebook at Rhonda Shear TV and subscribe to my channel. There's great stuff there. We're also looking to be soon on Roku. And guess what we're doing? In the next few weeks, watch for the reboot of Up All Night. Rhonda, Up All Night. Yes, we're working on that. And so very, very exciting times. So we're just expanding our horizons here. It's going to be just a great night, though. I've got 3 amazing guests for you this evening. We have the incredible Hollywood from Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, Jeanne Basone. We have Matt Cimber, producer, director extraordinaire, who wait till you see and hear the things he's created and done. Just legendary. He was married to Jane Mansfield. So that just tells you a little bit about him. And then we have, a very dear friend of mine, hysterical lady, Charisse Savarin, who headlines all over, has worked in front of, she's just done every comedy TV show. We love having our comics on. And it's just a great show. But in the meantime, get ready. Just get yourself all comfortable and cozy for Rhonda Shear Social Hour. And get yourself a little drink, have some hair. When we say hair, take a sip. Or just play with your own hair and take a sip. We'll be right back. We'll be right back after this.
All shapes, colors, species, breeds, ages, situations, welcome here. Shelter, care, training, so pets are safe and healthy. We're here for you, have no fear. A place for our community, for creatures big and small. SPCA Tampa Bay for all.
Hey, welcome to RhondaShear.com, the best place to shop for your intimates and loungewear. We have great sales all the time. We have a full size range. So we think that beauty comes in all shapes and all sizes. And check out our new skin tones. Find your nude. Tell your friends there's no intimates anywhere like RhondaShear.com.
She's sassy, she's classy, she's quick on her feet. She's Beverly Santo, wow, she's Beverly Santo, wow. She's the best at success, better than the rest. She's Beverly Santo, wow, she's Beverly Santo, wow.
Let me tell you, this is Beverly's beef here. I've just had enough. There's all this new shit that's coming out. Let's just face it. What the hell is it? TikTok. I thought that was a clock. I thought it was one of those kitty cat clocks that go, ooh, 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 with the eyes go back and forth. That's TikTok. But then I go on my computer and I see TikTok. And it's like these crazy kids who think they have talent. And they're dancing and they're hopping around. They got the kids hopping around, the dogs hopping around. They put stupid music and little flowers and little things in their hair. There's like petals in their hair and things are moving around and their nose is twitching because they got bunny rabbit things and cat. What the hell is TikTok? What happened to people's attention span when they would watch a nice long movie, not like something that's 2 seconds long with no talented people? And these people are making money? What? Get an agent like me. I have an agent, Bernie. Bernie's a fabulous agent. I haven't heard from him in 20 years, but he's a fabulous agent. TikTok, that's bullshit. Get an agent. Read for a part. Read. You know, when you go out for an audition, you read. Not like these people jumping around thinking they're not talent. Turn off the TikTok. Watch Beverly. Beverly's beef.
She's the best at success, better than the rest. She's Beverly Santo, wow, she's Beverly Santo, wow. I want her to be holding, oh my God, she can dress as Beverly Santo.
She's the best. I am so excited to introduce my next two guests. They've worked together, and I know both of them from different parts of my Hollywood life. But my first guest, we've had her on before, but we love her so much we had to bring her back on, Jeanne Basone. She is part of the Glow family, and we all know her as Hollywood, the most famous of the Glow gals. But she did so much more than that. I mean, she did also shows like Days of Our Lives, Married with Children, Saved by the Bell, The Larry Sanders Show, just so much. And then continued wrestling promotions, including Crush, Beauty Slammers, and Hottest Ladies of Wrestling. There's another TV show out there called Glow, after what the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling started. We all love them. Jeanne was on my USA Up All Night show as a guest. She's phenomenal, looks amazing, as you're going to see her in a second. And she also has a line of soap. We're going to talk about that in a minute. And we're going to carry that at my store. So I'm really excited about that. My next guest, he's legendary. Matt Cimber. He's an American producer, director, and writer. He's known for directing, and this is going to go right along with all my fans. You guys love this, but a very diverse genre of films like The Candy Tangerine Man, The Witch Who Came from the Sea, Hundra. Matt Cimber, he helmed 3 blaxploitation films in the mid-70s, The Black Six, Lady Coco, and The Candy Tangerine Man. And I love this, the latter of which Samuel Jackson and Quentin Tarantino have cited as some of their favorite films. So just amazing career, both in off-Broadway directing, television. He literally was one of the founders and starters of the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. So that's how he knows Jeanne Basone. They go way, way back with that. He also directed the controversial 1982 drama Butterfly, which was controversial because Pia Zadora won Best Actress, but she was really meant to win Best Actress, but the Golden Globe got got a lot of bad feedback from that because her husband was Michelle Rickless, who owned the Riviera, on and on. But maybe we can get into some of that with Matt. He was also married to the late, incredible Jane Mansfield. So just an amazing background that Matt has. Let me bring on my two very special guests, Jeanne Basone and Matt Cimber, and they're coming on together. So this is so exciting.
Yay.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Matt.
Hi.
Gosh.
Oh, my goodness. Jeanne, thank you for making this happen with Matt. When you were on the first time a while back, you said that I'm going to get Matt on, and I really wanted to bring him back on because we've been actually we're having a lot of director producers on that really have this varied background of films, and my fans are loving this. So we have to talk to Matt about that. But also, I'm making Matt remember how he knew me way back in the day.
Right.
As kind of a young stand-up comic when I was trying to claw my way. I think I'll tell you about this, that I was trying to get into some of Michelle Rickless's reviews that he had at the Riviera. So that's how I met Matt, and then we were friends for a little bit. But I want to hear your story of you two and the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, and how, Matt, did you discover Jeanne, or did she discover you? What was she like to work with? And how were those days? Because my audience loves the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, and I love Jeanne.
Well, you made a very good choice with Jeanne. She is the epitome of a Glow girl.
She is.
One of the original girls, and she is, the accolades about her go on and on. She absolutely made her career. She did it all. She did it all. And when she first came to us, she absolutely did not have a crown. She
No.
acted before. She never sang before.
Wow.
She was taking blood from people's veins. and what she turned herself around,
Wow.
and not just what she did with Glow, because Glow had 35 girls, 35. Now, you know the trouble you have with a normal sitcom, you got 4 or 5 people, and you say, who are we going to strengthen? But you know, she absolutely rose to the top. And she made an incredible career at Glow. But what's even more amazing is what she's done after Glow.
Yes.
She's
Yes.
on the road. The girl travels day and night, and she's got so much personality and so much. And when she first came, she couldn't remember her raps. She couldn't remember rap lines. I mean, and now she's the mistress of it all.
She is. I love that because I changed my career into being an entrepreneur, and that's what Jeannie's has done too. Is like, you know, producing products, and you got to keep reinventing, as you know, Matt. For a woman, especially, you got to keep changing your life. But Matt, how did you come up with the idea? You were one of the co-creators, right, of Glow. What made you come up with this back in the day when that just wasn't happening with women? I mean, women were dancing.
That was purely an accident. I mean, they asked me to, Rick was very adamant. He was not going to give, what's his name, McLean.
Yeah, David.
Distributor. He wasn't going to hand them $500,000 to do the first series of shows.
Right.
If you don't do this, I'm not going to do this. And I said, come on, Rick. I said, number one, I'm not a fan of wrestling. Number two, I don't want to do. I just come back from Europe. I had done 2 films that I was really happy with. And he said, oh, you know, and I was living at the Riviera. And he said, listen, my lad, I'm going to either do this or, you know. So we started to do, I said, I'll at least do the pilot. There was nothing really in the pilot. They were in the ring going at one another, and they had some training. And there was a girl, and I feel terrible that I can't remember her name. She was fighting Matilda the Hun, who was this gigantic lady,
Yeah.
you know, terrific lady. And the other girl was this, I can't remember her name, but in any event, they were in the ring going at one another.
Yeah.
When I put it on the editing machine, I edited as we went along with
Tammy Jones. It was Tammy Jones.
Huh?
It was Tammy Jones.
Tammy, yes, Tammy was.
Those 2 were going at it. Yeah.
She had a scene where she charged across the room, and Matilda was stuck up against the ropes in the corner, and she bent down and she slammed into her with her head. And she gave a heck of a shot. And when I was playing with it on the machine, on the editing, the editor was sitting next to me. He was working on something. I started laughing. I slowed down the machine. Saw this girl coming across, and she, boom, and she bounced off this lady. And all you saw was boing, boing. And suddenly I said, you want to know something? That's the key. We've got
comedy.
The comedy.
Yeah.
We've got to get it. Now, the problem was manyfold, but the one immediate problem was none of these girls had ever acted.
Wow.
And how are they ever going to get, comic timing? How are they going to be able to do any of those sketches?
Right.
It's going to be murderous. But we tried it. And as we were going along with this, McLean, who, by the way, his dream was to make like men's wrestling. That was never going to happen.
Oh.
In any event, no, it was never going to happen. And I knew it. And he and this fellow who was the distributor, they went to Rick's office in Beverly Hills while we were shooting in Nevada, and they asked them to fire me, get off the show, because nobody, they said, you've got to understand this. People do not laugh with wrestling. It's a serious game. And of course, Rick said, look, fellas, without Matt, you don't have a show with me.
Oh,
Because either he's going to do what he wants to do to make the show work, and that's it. So I ended up with the show. Now, the girls were so terrific. The beginning was sensational. I mean, Jeannie had a band of people there. And eventually, we got Stallone's mother involved. We got, then, of course, his brother, Stallone's brother, fell in love with Jeannie.
oh,
And all I was getting was phone calls at night. Fix me up with Jeannie, fix me up with Jeannie. I said, no, you please. You know, then
did that
came,
happen, Jeannie? Did that ever happen?
no, she didn't want to have any of it.
No.
And,
Remember, I was with
anyway,
Dave.
the guy's a very nice guy. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
totally.
very nice. And
I was
she,
21 years old and very naive, and I'm like, no. And he was older. And I'm like,
no, what the
Matt,
hell is
take
she,
care.
right? So now, but then came his son.
Oh, Sage.
He came on the show.
Frank's son?
Blake.
Yeah,
Blake.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He came on the show to celebrate his 13th birthday.
Oh,
And it became a big thing. And it was just something that was sensational.
did you expect this to take off the way it did and become an iconic show, Matt? Did you expect it?
No, but you know, I was a great fan of Laugh-In, and I was a great fan of the Hillbilly Show. What
Oh,
was it?
yeah, Beverly Hillbillies. Yeah.
Hee Haw. Hee Haw was wonderful, and
It was.
so was Laugh-In. And suddenly I said, wait a minute, I think we could hold this show up against them. And it happened. It's amazing how it happened, because the show, the first 3 weeks, we were only on 3 stations. 3 stations. Okay? The first 3 weeks, it was calm, nothing. Suddenly, the 4th week, the show blew up.
Bang.
By January, we had about 120 stations that were incredible.
Jeannie, did it surprise you that there's a show today? I mean, so many years later, that there would be a show on air about the gorgeous ladies of wrestling? I mean, does that surprise you?
And you know, the funny part is we had no promotional person. We had they came and looked us up. I mean, the head critic for television for the Los Angeles Times wrote an entire article about Glow, and that it's one of the most satiric shows on television.
Wow.
Satiric, whatever. Anyway, it really, the success was something I don't think any of us were ready to handle.
No. And then it would still hold its own. And then people still know Hollywood and still talk about Hollywood. And still know all the characters and talk about them. I mean, we had fans wanting to see and meet these gals. So Matt, I'm gonna talk to Jeannie too, but Matt, so you did so many films, so many iconic films. Do you think that, I mean, I know you can't really compare, it's apples and oranges, but was Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling like your baby? I mean, was that like your really baby that you loved even more than some of the filmmaking?
Wrestling was never my baby. But I appreciate, and you know what surprised me? How good the girls became by it. I mean, they put themselves into it. They did it. They did the acting. They did the comedy takes. They did the wrestling. They were incredible.
Yeah, but you directed us, and if it wasn't for you directing us at least in my head, we wouldn't have been the way that we were, because we had to get those lines down. When Matt was our director, you did it right the first time, because let me tell you, you didn't
I was
want to be in
going
trouble.
to ask you if Matt was tough back then. I mean, so I know it was a different era. So it was before, you know, I mean, did
I
Matt,
had not acted before, so I didn't know what tough was. So Matt was my first director.
so
which was great.
did he also direct you girls on like saying you have to be a certain weight, you have to not go over a certain, I mean, was he also coaching you?
No,
that
but after a while, she was directing herself. Don't go
Yes.
listen to her. That it was direct. She was directing herself after a while too. But
I figured it out. That's
but
what
you
it
know, if I tell you what would be a great show, is to show the beginning raps, the girls doing their raps in
you're
the
great.
It was so hilarious to watch all the goofs and the way they went. And of course, I was not easy.
No.
I knew that for 4 years, every Thursday night, that show had to go on the uplink and had to go out to the stations across the country. And you know, in 4 years and 102 shows, we never missed a play date.
Wow, 102.
And,
That's a lot.
and I want to tell you, they did singing, dancing, and we became MGM. It was like amazing what these girls.
So did you have a budget, Matt, or did you have to do it on a shoestring? Or was the budget okay for costume?
You know, I'm a budget director, and the point is that really the only essence of it, if you got enough to make it look good, and that's what counts. And if the people are into it, same thing goes for low budget films.
Right.
If you put the right elements in there and you hook the audience, that's all it took. I mean, I had friends. One was the manager of the New York Mets. Okay, Davy Johnson was my personal friend. As a matter of fact, he married Rickless's secretary.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and it happened that year he won the World Series.
Right.
And he invited us all. And one day he was visiting her, and they were having coffee, he and the secretary, in the famous coffee house at the Riviera Hotel.
Oh yeah.
And I came over and sat with them and started a conversation. And while I was talking, they were rehearsing the musical number somewhere. And the girl who was doing the staging, who's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, she's Nanuchka on the show. She is hilarious and fabulous. She comes up to tell me something about a hitch they got and he almost falls on the floor. He says, "Oh my God." He says, "You mean you do that clothes show?" I said, "Yeah, that's the clothes on. It comes from here." He says, "You realize every Saturday that team is in the locker room watching clothes from 11 o'clock on, and they have to get out on the baseball field by 12 o'clock to do the national anthem."
That's awesome.
So every week they choose one member of the team to stay in the locker room and watch the show to see the last scene of the show.
My producer.
Of course, the last scene.
My producer watched the show, Jeanne. He's like before.
And what's great is the last scene is McLean, who, by the way, was terrific, as he was the best announcer we ever had. McLean had his office. His office was, I gave him a booth, a
telephone booth,
a telephone booth right on Vegas Boulevard, and he'd go to his booth and there were little stacks of notices for him, and he'd call the head of the WWE.
Oh,
Vince.
Not really.
Vince.
And
Vince
he called
McMahon.
him up, and he insinuated that that the head of the WWE and one of their big stars were and that got a lot of mail. I mean, it became, there was no rules.
No.
So Matt, let me ask you a question. These shows are out there somewhere, right? I mean, why can't they be aired again? I think they would just do phenomenal.
Well, it became because Rickless, Rickless. I don't have to tell you about Rickless. You know Rickless. He started a thing with one of the girls. Before you know it, when the show was over, everybody thought they were going to go home and forget about it. So he gave her the rights to make DVDs so she could earn a living.
Right.
Oh no.
But of course, I've got all the shows. So it became, but I can't distribute them without her, and she can't do anything.
Who is it?
One of the girls.
One of the girls.
One of the girls.
The girl that owns the trademark. We'll just say that. One of the girls that owns trademark.
What a shame. What a shame.
They would do so
Yeah, and
well.
all the publicity,
They would
but
do so well.
yeah, but you know what pulled it out of the grave was the show on Netflix.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, but now Netflix was really not a copy of Glow.
Right.
Netflix was structured as a soap opera. You know,
Right. Right.
it didn't have the fast moving
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
They
So-
probably, I've never seen it, but they probably wanted the cattiness. Is that what the behind the scenes more?
No, they didn't have as much wrestling. I didn't think they followed the ladies behind the scenes, right, Matt? They started talking.
Yeah,
And
Right.
that's kind of that was
yeah,
our show was all Glow.
Right.
yeah, and it annoyed me because I never could figure out why they had to call it Glow. They were just doing a show based on what was an 80s show.
Because it's you know what it is. Female wrestling is so huge today. Is it WWE? I mean, I have a girlfriend who's a wrestler. It is so big. So Matt, you were doing this light years
Way
before,
before.
because
Yes.
women didn't play those roles back then. I mean, you were like you couldn't be
Yeah.
like that. They didn't have this.
Yeah,
We were always victims in TV.
yeah. You know what? It definitely hooked in, and it became. In the beginning, the one thing I always worried about was one of the girls would quit because I said, "How am I going to replace them? Nobody wants to do this show." It wasn't already up for 1 year that girls started calling and saying they wanted an audition for the show.
Oh, I bet.
Because they were
Nobody
watching us on
really.
TV.
They were watching you on TV. And what's
Exactly.
interesting, if you think about this, Jeannie, women weren't into the fitness regime that they are now.
Right.
So it wasn't as I mean, it just wasn't as, I mean, you had Jane Fonda, but you didn't have
That's
women.
it. Yes. Just Jane
didn't
and Richard
have
Simmons.
women
Richard Simmons show.
Right. You didn't have what today where women are competing with
Well,
men.
look, I was happy about the idea of their show because it really threw light on the old show.
And
You know why
and
they?
Mark Maron got to play
You know
Matt.
why?
I mean, Matt.
Because
Matt. Mark Maron played you. And he's awesome.
they.
About a month ago.
Wait, what'd you say, Lynn?
Now he was featured on a Jeopardy question.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Month
He
ago.
put Glow back on the map.
Yeah. How long this thing lasts? And they had me on Jeopardy last week. And
Yes.
it's one of the questions, and
That's great.
That
the
is
show was 30 years ago. Come on. But it's amazing how the substance of it, because they did the show because they had the um, documentary about the show
Documentary in 2012.
on Netflix, and they saw this incredible reaction. All these people who were 12 and 13 years old were now 30 years old, and they were these great fans. And that's what really, I think, sold the idea of the show.
And the girls still have their fans. They still,
yeah.
as a matter of fact, my producer, Jeanne, who's here tonight, said, we have got to get the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling on, the original ones, not the TV show. We want the original ones. And then I realized that Jeanne and I had worked together on an Up All Night. And then I knew you from a million years ago.
Right.
So, I mean, and we're going to have Jeanne on all the time. As a matter of fact, do you know about her soap, Matt? Her custom soap that she makes? We want to carry you in our store. It's gorgeous.
Awesome.
We're very excited about it. So we haven't opened yet, so just hang in there.
I'll give you some soap. Look, this is a Christmas one. When I go to California, that's
She
yours.
promotes everything. She promotes.
Great.
Now
That's
she's got soap that she's selling.
No, we're going to sell that. The Hollywood Botanica. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you. No, you know, I have a store that that she's going to be selling her soap in soon. And then when we get back to normal, you'll have to make a guest appearance at the store.
I would love that.
Sign your soap.
You're so cute. Thank you.
Matt, I want to talk about a couple of other things too. Your black I can't say it, blaxploitation films, like the Candy Tangerine Man. I didn't see it, so excuse me, but you have these people like Quentin Tarantino just loving you. What was that like? What was that like back then? You were ahead of your time doing that.
Well, you know, in the beginning, I started making low budget films.
Yes.
I wanted to do my own films. Now, I did work at a few studios. I worked at MGM. I worked at Universal. I wanted to make my own without any office telling me how to do it, whatever. So I started making these films. And the point was that white actors would not work for the price that I could afford.
Right.
I mean, so I wasn't getting good actors for my white films. But the minute I auditioned for black actors,
Right.
I mean, I got actors that came in and were sensational. So I really started making the black films, and it was amazing because it really worked. They were terrific. Of course, these 6 guys were not actors. They were players, but they pulled off.
But Matt, this just says you're directing. You turned the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling into actresses and singers and dancers, and then you turn these new African American actors into actors. So it's you're the one who's to be credited with your fabulous directing. I wish I could have worked with you. How amazing!
Well, I don't know if that's true, but
yes,
This is true.
you had a vision.
but the point is that this film is so good. This film was show you how financing has to come. The film was financed by Sammy Davis Jr. and his manager, because he was her manager.
Lola Falana.
And Lola Falana, and she was getting big money in Las Vegas, but nobody would hire her for a film.
Wow. That's
He asked me to come up with something for her on film, and he and his manager would finance it, and they did. And
great.
The film really did well. She went on the Tonight Show to talk about it, and the film just took off. Now, a strange thing happened. After the third film, which this was the third film, I went to my office on Sunset Boulevard, and the stairs going upstairs, I had the one right next to Doheny and Sunset on the second floor. I had to walk upstairs. When I got there, the whole stairs was packed with Black students.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
They wouldn't let me go to my office. And they said, we want you to stop making Black films.
Really?
Wow.
I said, why is that? And they said, because you're not black.
Uh,
And, and because you don't understand the black
culture.
Mhm.
I said, I know, but I don't make realistic films. I mean,
Right.
they're all takeoffs. And they said, we would prefer you would stop making black films.
Wow. Interesting.
So I stopped. I stopped because I wanted to continue making movies, you know, and I just didn't want to, you know. But then, oddly enough, years later,
You were hiring black actors when probably it was really hard for them to get
oh
parts.
yeah, the black actors were happy because I paid them union mail, I mean, a union scale, and they were happy to take the money. They were happy to get the jobs.
I'm sure.
Absolutely. I would.
Nobody was hiring them, you know.
Right.
And Lynn, what was the name of the comedian at USC? Bill Cosby was doing a seminar that he was financing at the Spielberg School at USC.
Wow.
And they called me and said, we're having a gathering of these black students who were studying to become writers.
Right.
Would you come, you know? And I said, okay. I didn't realize what I was getting into because when I got in the room, there were about 35 or 40 students there.
Yeah.
Sitting in the back. And then they had a panel. And I was one of the people on the panel.
Right.
And I was the only white person in the room, you know, and I'm sitting there saying, my God. And what happened was someone said, there was a well-known, I don't want to say his name, black director sitting to my right. He was on the panel also.
Right.
And when it got to him, he said to these, now when you looked at these 35 students,
Right.
no, they didn't come from the ghetto. They were wealthy families who had put them into USC, okay?
Right.
And I'm sitting there, and this guy starts in, he says, look, when you write, you have to think about your background, who you are. You got to put that into your film. You have to realize your job is to let them be aware of the struggle of, you know. And the students were all sitting there, very polite, and they applauded him when he finished in a very polite, very nice way.
Right.
And they came to me. And I, well, last year at the Cannes Film Festival, okay, Mario Puzo and I were working together, and we stayed in the same house together. And they had a premiere of a film that everybody was talking about called, what's it called again? The famous film that Spielberg made.
Oh.
Space film.
E.T.?
E.T.?
What?
E.T.?
What is it?
E.T.?
Is it E.T.?
E.T. No, not E.T. The original one.
What? Which one, honey?
What?
Close Encounters.
Oh, Close Encounters? No. I don't know.
Not Close Encounters. The first great.
Jaws. Jaws.
Sounds
Look
like
at it.
Jaws.
Go on.
Jaws. The shark.
Jaws.
I love
Can
having
anybody remember what one of the first?
I will. Hold on, I'll look it up.
Oh, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
No,
Lost Ark.
no, this was a space film. Everybody was waiting.
2001.
Everybody in
Star
Hollywood.
Wars. Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Star Wars. That's George Lucas.
Now, at the time, it was such a con was so tense because the special screening was a big deal.
Right.
And of course, Puzo and I, because of Puzo, we got 2 tickets, which we could have sold for $2,000 a piece, I promise you. And he said, come on, we have to go. Everybody in Hollywood's talking about this film.
Wow.
We went to see it. When it was over, we came out and it was terrific. We were thrilled with it. It was fabulous. So now I'm in front of this class. I'm going to tell you something very interesting. Neither Mario nor I knew what color the writer was.
Right.
So you don't have to have the back, you have to have the imagination.
Of course.
Wanting, you know, and the kids all started applauding big, you know.
That's awesome. Of
Because
course.
it really got to the nuts of it, you know. Who cared what color his skin was? The film was terrific.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that's what happened.
I mean, I always feel like Hollywood was way more open-minded, you know, when we're hearing in this age, you know, about racism or systemic. I never felt it or saw it in my 26 years in Hollywood. I just never did. I feel like LA was so, everybody was the same. It was about who was the best for the role or the talent, or, I mean, I never, ever felt it. So I think it's awesome what you did back then. And you opened doors. And the fact that you had Quentin Tarantino and Samuel Jackson making over your films, it's just amazing. But you know what? You also did theater. And I mean, you know, I
did a lot of theater before I ever came to Hollywood.
So
Nobody ever talked
I'm
about.
going to have you back on because I know we're not getting to you as much tonight,
I
but
mean,
you know I love you.
Oh,
I do want to ask. I do want to ask you
That's
one
fine.
thing, Matt, about you know, why was there so much controversy? I love Pia Zadora, and Butterfly got so much flack, and I thought she was really good in it, and I think she's an amazing talent to this day. Another one who has stayed working and has like just stayed out there. Why you directed it? Why do you think? I mean, just because she was married to, you know, a billionaire who's Michelle.
yeah, I know. Nobody ever mentioned that Sophia Loren was married to her producer too. But the point was that everybody had it in for Pia, you know, and maybe in some ways it was justified. I don't know, but you know, when the picture opened in Cannes,
Right.
it didn't open in the United States. It opened at the film festival. And we got there the night before and we had the print in our hands.
Wow.
And the only theater, my press agent from Fox, and we said, you know, nobody's going to have any time to come and see this film because we got an 8 o'clock time schedule in the morning.
Oh,
Who the hell's going to get up and come and see this? So here's the theater. We got a hotel room, luckily. The next morning at 8 o'clock, we went. The doors were already closed at the theater, and there was nobody outside. And we said, we looked at each other, and we said, "Shit, man, we're really. How do we call Rick and tell him, you know?" Now we opened the doors to the theater. That theater is packed. And all he did, shows you a smart press agent, he put one little blurb in the Variety. I swear to you, it was a half an inch thick that went across the thing, and it said, it said, Orson Welles, today, 8 o'clock, the Ambassador Theater. And the place was jammed. And every top critic was there. What's his name? The
Roger
guy,
Ebert.
huh?
Roger Ebert.
Roger,
Roger Ebert.
who was a good friend of mine, who we used to meet every year in Cannes and go to lunch together. He was an alcoholic, and he was a terrific guy. He was there. There was every major critic was there. We
Wow.
were
Right.
after the play was over, after the film was over, and they said, "We loved it. It was terrific. It was fantastic." It opened in New York. decent review in the New York Times, and it was doing business. Then it came to Hollywood. And they were waiting to chop her up.
Oh.
And they did it. They did it. They did a hell of a job. But I'm going to tell you something interesting. You know, Orson Welles' great film got really riddled when it first came out. And then it became, over the years, I'll tell you, I do a lot of colleges. You know, I go and I talk and I do, you know, and they are all watching Butterfly. And they don't know anything about what happened with Butterfly. They could care less. They love the film.
I bet, because Hollywood, you know, you know, if they're out to get you, that's it. I mean, you're
yeah, the film is very good. And you know, it just got off the wrong foot in Hollywood. And then Rick even added to it when he took those billboards across the country, and he had a picture of Pia in a bikini.
God, you know what? At the end of the day, it's history. You can't remember other Golden Globe Award winners, but everyone remembers Pia Zadora winning. So to me, you know this, Jeannie, right? All press is good. So it doesn't matter. And the fact is that you have used your name and your likeness from Glow. I've continued from Up All Night. I don't know if Matt remembers those years, but you build off of what you've done, and it's amazing. Matt, I have to go to my next guest, guys. You guys, I want to thank you so much for coming on tonight. I'd love to have you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Ron. Rhonda, you have a birthday. Happy birthday.
Jeannie, show more of your what's a soap?
Don't worry. Jeannie and I
we're going to talk about later. This is about you. I wanted you to Matt.
Jeannie and I.
Yeah,
I do have to ask one question, and I know you have your beautiful wife in the room, but you were married to the legendary Jane Mansfield. So was she just, I mean, I heard she was an amazing person. So anything you could just tell us about that to close with?
You know, it's amazing, but there have been so many books written on her. And yeah, you know, it wasn't the greatest love affair of all times, but I had so much respect for her because she was so talented in so many different ways.
Right.
And of course, she had a tough life, you know, and I think that, you know, Black Joe caught up to her.
Right.
And that was really where the hardness came. But her daughter did well.
Yeah.
Her children were doing well.
Yeah.
And that's all that really counts, you know.
Absolutely.
My wife will tell you the last 2 days I've been getting phone calls. Somebody, a big company, just bought the rights to 100. They're going to re-release it again.
Oh,
wow.
Somebody releases 100 every 3 years.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. Wow. But you know, what's incredible is that if it works, you know, I think, well, you know, I'm 85 years old. Where am I going?
Wow, you don't look it. You don't look aggressive at all.
I don't know. I'm 85.
Wow.
And this damn pandemic is so bad because if an 85-year-old gets it, he's gone.
Right. Okay. I know. We can't go anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Be safe, Matt.
It's not easy. Not easy.
Oh gosh,
but
Matt, your stories are amazing. Like I could literally do many shows, and I'd like to do more. And I do want to bring up one thing. I don't know if you know that I hosted a show called USA Up All Night for 9 years on USA Network, and I wrapped around movies. Basically, I did sketches. You would have liked them because they were funny little sketches, and I had Jeannie on. And Jeannie, and I want you to do this. We're rebooting our version for Roku and other places. And we are collecting or trying to get filmmakers, young, some established filmmakers that own their films, that we can air those films. So I don't know if you have the rights to any of your films, Matt, and we'll talk about you ask you on a phone call. But I would be so honored if we could air any of your films. Would be amazing on our show. And you can tell me about what I did and how. I mean, we don't make fun of them. We do these sketches in between, showing the film. And so I played. I mean, that was something. After I met you, Matt, I went on and did this other show for eight years.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll have to ask your wife. But boy, we're getting some films now from some really cool producers, and we're going to air some of those films. But we'll talk to you offline about that. We're going to send your wife, okay, because your wife has been so amazing and kept you online. And Jeannie knows we're going to send her some. I have an intimate apparel company. I sell bras and nightgowns and beautiful robes. We're going to send her a goodie bag. So we're going to find out. Jeannie will help me with this, and we'll
help you.
We'll send.
Okay.
You'll get to appreciate that part. But thanks. But I want to thank you all both again for coming on.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Jeannie, I would love you, and we love you so much. And Matt, I know you just remember little bits and pieces, but you were very, very kind to me in my very beginning days, and very complimentary to me in my early days of stand-up comedy. So I thank you very much. I wish you could have directed me. I would have loved that, but it's never too late. Never too late.
Thank you. Thank you, Rhonda. I love you. I love you, Jeannie. I've been loving you for 40 years. Thank you, sweetheart.
Wow. Thank you. What
Thank you.
Amazing stories. We'll have to have Mr. Matt Cimber back on again. And Jeannie, she's going to be a regular because she's, our Hollywood gal. We'll be back. I know it's been a long segment. We'll be back right after this. Oh, yeah, you can. Hi, I'm Rhonda Shear, and you may remember me from USA Up All Night, or perhaps you've seen me on HSN selling my own line of Rhonda Shear Intimates, or maybe you're watching my new show, RhondaShearSocialHour.com. Well, if you want to watch those and a lot more, you need to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Rhonda Shear TV at YouTube. All of you have been looking for Up All Night clips, where they're all there, hundreds of them, with your favorite stars and celebrities and fun TV commercials and all kinds of random clips. Things that'll make you laugh, things that'll make you cry, things that'll make you go, whoo! Anyway, join me at Rhonda Shear TV at YouTube. The address is right there. See you there. Hi, it's Rhonda Shear, and I have something so very special for you. My limited edition of Up All Night masks. Everyone's collecting them. There's 4 of them. So if you go to RhondaShearSocialHour.com, you can pick them up, or you can go to RhondaShear.com and pick them up. Let me tell you how they come. You can get 1 at a time. You can get 2 at a time. Or you can get 4 at a time. And then you won't have to wash every day. Now, these masks are not only stylish, and you'll have great memories from USA Up All Night when I got you through puberty, but they're cotton lined, and they stay in place, and they don't fall off your nostril and down your nose. You'll love them. So anyway, go to RhondaShear.com or RhondaShearSocialHour.com and get your collector's item. Get all 4. The kids will love them. Daddy will love them. Grandpa will love them. Mom will even love them. Who doesn't want a Rhonda silhouette on their face? We're having some fun. Okay, don't forget to pick up Up All Night, my book. You can get it at RhondaShear.com or go to RhondaShearSocialHour.com. If you get, or Amazon, but if you get it through RhondaShear.com, I'm going to send you an autographed copy. It is so good. Lots of great stories, lots of Hollywood stories. And then I like to promote my masks because we are selling these on RhondaShearSocialHour.com. And you can buy them in different configurations of the Up All Night mask. They're fabulous. They're cotton lined. Your nostrils don't show. They stay up on your nose. They are fabulous. You will love them. Get all 4. They're precious. They're unique. And if you have any nostalgia for USA Up All Night, you'll love them. So that's another promotion. What else do I have to promote? If you want to book me on cameo.com, mind reading, you can go and check me out on cameo.com/Rhonda Shear, and I will send a personalized message to anybody or yourself. It's really a fun thing to do. It's a fun gift for the holidays. Okay, so coming up next is a dear friend of mine who we have had on. We're going to have her back. Is fabulous comedian, both headlining on stage, does tons of corporate work. Of course, right now we're kind of shut down, but she'll be back to that soon because I hear a vaccine is going to be like tomorrow, hopefully, fingers crossed. And we worked together back in the day when I was booking female comics. I was lucky enough to have met Charisse Savarin. Let's give her a round of applause. Girl, how are you?
I'm fine. And you know what I did?
What'd you do?
I made my shirt lower because I saw your cleavage. And
I
I
was
said, hey man, you got to step up.
I was trying to get a little boob in because, you know, we had Matt. Did you hear the interview with Matt Cimber? I mean,
I heard the end of it.
He's a legendary producer, director. He was married to Jeanne Mansfield. So I was trying to get some, you know, boobies in.
And you know what? He is smart because he said that Jeanne Mansfield was not the love of his life. What a smart thing to say with his wife right there. Wow. Even if he was, I thought, wow.
I know. Well, Charisse, I was like, I really wanted to ask him a little bit more about that, but I'm like, oh my gosh, he's remarried and his wife is a huge executive at one of the networks.
Right.
So I just didn't want to go there. But anyway, he's very happily married and a lovely man. And I met him many years ago.
Yeah.
And in the beginning of my, probably around the time that I met you, and I was just trying to do anything.
God, I can't believe I'm still alive.
You are fabulous. How are you feeling and doing? Are you, just tell me everything. Catch me up. Are you doing stand-up on Zoom?
Yeah, you know, a lot of things. I'm doing stand-up on Thursday on Zoom at a place called Flappers.
Flappers. Okay, so are you live but in front of an audience?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm doing it on Zoom. That's why when I start my act now, I say that I feel married again. I'm talking and there's no response. You know what I mean? You look exactly the same.
I mean, I have to say that the hardest thing to do would be stand-up comedy and not to hear laughter back.
Oh my God, I can't even tell you. I can't even tell you. So I have no idea if my jokes are good or not. Look what I'm talking to myself.
I'm laughing legitimately. So if you're trying them out on me, try any new material out right now.
Okay, hold on.
She actually has her notes back there.
I do. Because like the thing with men here, I mean, it's terrible. It's just terrible for women.
What's going on with men? Tell me what's going on with dating and everything.
Well, I will tell you nothing. Okay. And it's ridiculous.
Okay,
and my friend has found one of the answers. She's going out with a guy who's way younger than she is. Okay. And
how many years younger?
I'm not allowed to say, but let's just say it's more than 10 and more than 15. Anyway, now what did I write about that? She looked so happy. Okay. It's like she just had an orgasm and she's looking forward to her next one. You know what I mean? Subjects I could feel, you know? And also, she could have breastfed them, but now, you know, now it's a bit different. You know, they're still stuck in her boobies. But
how do you feel? I mean, I couldn't date a younger man.
I don't know at this point. I mean, I had a blind date. Ugh. You know, on Zoom, when you just see the head, not enough. Not enough. Let me just put it like that. His head was.
I've been hearing that people have been getting married during the pandemic that have just met on dating sites because I guess they get tested. I don't know how they ever get together, but I hear there's more marriage because maybe they feel safer. What do you think about that?
Well, maybe I should go on more sites.
Maybe you should.
Because I'd like to get married again. I've got bills to pay, Rhonda.
No.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? There's a lot of lonely guys out there. There
are. But, you know, like, it's so funny because I used to say, you know, when I dated that, it's worth 1,000 words. A picture's worth 1,000 words. Okay. And it's the word liar repeated 1,000 times. They never look like their picture.
Never.
Never. So that's the problem. And they didn't look like it just enough for me not to be able to kiss them. You know what I mean? Just enough. Just enough.
I mean, do they paint hair in their pictures? I
I
mean,
don't know what they do. Like, I can't even, anyway.
but Charisse, don't you find that they completely even lie about, oh, I love long walks on the park and all this, and then when you really,
walks on the beach. Oh, fuck it. I mean,
but they don't even care. They're not even like that.
No, they're not. They're not. No, they're just lying like crazy. I tell you, I've been doing stand up for a long, long time. I'll tell you. And yeah, I've met guys. I went out with this one guy that you knew, Barry.
Oh,
and you're the one who told me to go out with him.
I did. I love
I wrote a little thing about him, like he was wearing. I remember he looked very nice that night. He was wearing a 3-piece suit. It wasn't out of choice. It was out of necessity. He could have gotten it, okay. But still, he was, and so that was awful. But anyway, I did last with him, and he's now best friends with Jerry Seinfeld. But he's very talented, though. He's very funny. He's got some very funny stuff. And I will say that.
Barry Marder had an incredible genius mind, but the fact that you could date him for more than one time, I mean, I'm sorry. I don't
know how I did it. I don't know how.
I'll tell you why I put you both together. Well, first of all, you're beautiful. He's not as beautiful, but you're beautiful. But I think you are brilliant. I mean, you are brilliant mind, and I figured, and Barry's brilliant, and I figured that you two as brainiacs would be great together. So, but I mean, so did he ever get married? Did he do any of that?
I don't know what he did. Well, I saw him. I think I told you I saw him on Seinfeld show, and he looks like he gained about 30 pounds, and I knew he had a heart attack. Not bad.
Not good. But he's best friends with Jerry Seinfeld. Don't you think you should cozy up to him again?
Well, he talks. Yeah, maybe I should, but really, I mean, there's no room on the sofa for me. I mean, I couldn't even believe he got into the car. Really, I couldn't believe it.
I think you should date him again because Jerry Seinfeld is still relevant, kind of. And even if he's not, he's a billionaire.
Yeah, I know.
He's got a lot of money, and if Barry's still hanging around him, he's got to be getting something off of him. So
I know Barry got a few things,
You know what? Here's my feeling, Charisse. I feel like women can get married and then get a divorce if you need to be. So at least
no, my mother told me that too when I got married.
My mother told me that. I never did it, but I think it's wise.
Well, my mother told me. I remember I was sitting on a beanbag chair at the time, and she told me. She said, "Get married, and then at least you can say you've been married."
My mother said the same thing. My mother.
I know, and my mother said in a very thick Romanian accent.
No, my mother said the same thing. She goes, it's embarrassing not to say you have 1 or 2 marriages under your belt. So
it really is.
So
my sisters have 3.
You've been married once, right?
Once, but both of my sisters are on their 3rd. To go home with just 1 wedding under my belt. You know what I mean? It's embarrassing.
Well, it's hard during COVID, but I do think I can help you with the next one. But I think you really should. I think you need. I mean, no, I always have guys that are looking.
Let me just adjust this a little more.
Yeah, you need to adjust that so we can show.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
My boobs are the perfect.
You've got nice boobs. You've got a great figure. You're
perfect size. They're perfect because I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because they're not too big, so they don't distract in conversation. You know what I mean? But they're big and juicy enough for other things.
Yeah, it's not good when someone's just looking down. You're right. You're right.
Yeah. And there's no reason for them to develop poor posture,
And bad backs. You can get like arthritis and things like that.
I'm always thinking about things like that.
I want you to go on a site so that you can do something.
I am on one.
No, I know. Have you not that you're not of this age, but everybody goes on the site now. I think I may have told you that my sister who's up.
Yeah.
She's got like a full-time boyfriend, and my sister, my niece found lubricant, like a lot of it. So she's getting it on, and she's 81. So I think you should go on that site, My Time. And I think
I tried that a little bit, a little bit. Our time. It's actually not my time because my time is what I have now. I have my time. Okay. So we're not going to call it my time. What was who says it's me on the phone? Who the hell is me? Everyone's me.
What was our time like when you went on there? Is everybody like?
I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. obviously it couldn't have been greater. I'd still be on it.
Well, look at it this way. You would be the youngest person on there. Your mother would like this. You'd be the youngest woman on there. So you would have like a lot of dates, and then you could maybe marry just like a rich old guy. There's nothing that matters.
You see, it could go both ways, because I wouldn't mind marrying a younger guy too, and I wouldn't mind dying first. You know what I mean? And having, that's a nice change. I don't want to have Alzheimer's all by myself.
No, very, very astute. You're right.
Yeah. So, I gotta talk to my friend. I don't know how she does it, but she really does it.
Who?
My friend who's dating the guy who's much younger. My happy friend.
Well, I think I'm voting that you need to get back in touch with Barry, marry, but play with a younger guy.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's about time I was a bitch. What? It's about time I was a bitch.
Why can't you have a couple of them? Have an old one, and a young one that you can screw around with.
And the problem here in Hollywood is that, if they're dressed half decent, you think they're gay. Just half decent is all they have to be dressed.
It's probably true.
Do you know what I say in my act? I tell the audience right off the bat, any guy here that isn't attracted to me, you're gay.
It's true.
Yeah. I mean, they spend so much time trying to figure out their sexuality, and I'm here to help.
And now the sexuality is really changed.
Oh my God, there's so many sexes.
So many.
So many. I mean,
I have a fluid dog. She's very confused about her sexuality.
Really? Has she had her, snipped?
She has, but like she pees like a guy, and she marks her spot, and she
wow
food bowls, and she sticks her leg, and she's only this big.
Oh,
Yeah, but I mean, I seriously, dating in LA right now with the whole, not everybody changing from being fluid, changing from one moment to the
I don't know what everybody is. You know what I mean? I'm just a woman. That's all. I don't know what everybody is.
Well, maybe you need to change that. Maybe you need to.
Well, I know. I was thinking about becoming a lesbian. I was thinking about it.
Well, maybe you just need to be bi, or at least say it online.
Well, I say it. I say I'm bisexual because I said bye to being sexual, But, I'm bisexual. Yeah, no, I said that too.
I think it's more current, and I think you make yourself more relevant if you are like, you just say, I can be whatever you want. What do you want?
Wow. Well, that's interesting. Because I was in a play once a long time ago called, it wasn't Tony and Tina's wedding, it was Joni and Gina's. And it was two lesbians that got married. And I was the mother of the bride who just got out of rehab. So it was perfect for me. You know what I mean? I wandered around in a stupor the whole time. It was so much fun. And
you could do this. You could role play. You could have a mustache. Then you could have glam Marilyn hair. You could do all of this.
Boy, oh boy. Rhonda.
Maybe we should start a dating service.
I don't know. I mean, you're getting me tempted. This is very, very interesting.
That was funny. I've been married 20 years in January.
Unbelievable.
Here's what's really funny. I think it would be so much fun to be on a dating site because I would screw around with those people in the worst way.
Oh, wow.
I would lead them on. I would tell them anything.
Wow.
And then I would screw them over.
Oh, that's good. It's retroactively getting back at people. Right?
Vindictive.
Yeah, but you're doing it. I love that. Oh, that's really.
Yeah, I want you to do that tonight. I think you need to do that. Put that in your act.
Well, I think I will. You know what I say in my act too? Maybe I shouldn't say this anymore. I say I'm finally at an age where I feel comfortable in my own skin.
Yes.
You know why I feel comfortable in my own skin? Because it's loose.
No spandex. That's your tagline.
No, I used to say, I thought being a loose woman was going to be fun. What's happening here? What's happening? But spandex, I'm open. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Oh my God.
I've been doing.
The name of my production company is Stretchy Pants. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, I love stretchy clothes.
I hate zippers. We hate zippers. We like stretchy pants.
No, I don't like zippers. I remember someone once got a zipper stuck somewhere, and we'll leave it at that. You know what I mean? But it's the same size in the end, and that's the main thing.
Oh my gosh, you are so funny. And I know that you don't do this in your act anymore, but
No,
I worked with you so many years ago when we were first starting.
talking backwards, right?
Backwards.
Yeah.
And I-
Anything you say, yes, you can, now. There you go. Oh, dearest. I don't know. Won't not I? I don't know how. Well, won't not I? I don't get it. To take to note I. You know what I do? I start at the end and go to the beginning too. And I was supposed to be on Jimmy Kimmel, and the first time he called me, I was too far and I couldn't get there in time. And you know what happened then? The next time, this girl went on, and she couldn't do it. She could just read backwards.
Oh no, you speak.
No, I know. So he had that, and he was fed up with it, and that was the end of that. I was so mad.
Back out. You got to tag him on Twitter and tell him that you do.
And I really do the thing. I do it too.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, like, whatever.
So, okay. So to me, that's brilliant. I had a woman come over here. She's a designer and she does a line of women's clothing. She can play the piano like a concert pianist, or at least it sounds that way. It sounds like she's doing some amazing opera.
Oh,
She's
wow.
played piano. She's never taken a piano lesson. She just sits down and it comes out. To me,
wow. That, I play the piano in my act too.
You do?
Well, this is what I do. Okay. I go like this, and I pretend I'm playing the piano.
Right.
And I say, I'm so glad you're quiet and respectful so you can hear me play. And then I say, I'm getting so good at this, I'm thinking about getting false nails so I can reach the black keys. Mental, right? I mean, the brain, it's just a weird thing. I just all day long. I don't know.
So all day long, are you writing and writing it down?
Yeah, I'm writing a lot. Yeah. Really a lot. Yeah.
But it's hard to write a lot when you're not communicating with people. So
I know, because usually I'd write on stage. I mean, that's where I would write. That's where some of the best lines came, were just,
Absolutely.
And they're organic because they're true.
So how do you write without having interaction? Or, I mean, you're having interaction.
Well, I've been talking to myself for quite some time. All that.
I think it's fabulous.
I do know that, like, when I did do stand-up, one of the very important things is you have to know who your audience is.
Yes.
Okay? Because I remember I once had to go on, and I followed about 10 or 15 women who were angry. And I said, geez, how am I going to follow that? And so I went up and I said, you know what? I'm angry too, but I turn it inwards.
How did they feel about that?
They loved it.
No, the audience would.
Oh, the other girls, I don't know. I don't care. I couldn't take it anymore.
No, your act, or at least your persona is not angry. You are one of the female comics that does not come off angry. Why are they so angry?
I talk about their, that thing down there. I mean, I talk about it a little bit. I do talk about it, but I don't talk about it like they talk about it.
No, there's a lot of a JJ talking on stage.
A lot of the JJ.
They're very angry, but they see you have a happy face and you're pretty and you have a smile like most female comics. I'm not going to lie. There you are with those big blue eyes.
Yeah.
So they have they're mad. They're angry. They attack the audience.
No. I'm a Jewish woman with a stomach condition. Don't worry. I turn it inwards. Don't worry. Oh, boy.
They hate men. They hate men.
No. I still want a man. I do.
Right. See, that differentiates you from 99.9% of the comics.
That is so great. That is so great to hear. Oh boy. Because I've done comedy for a long, long time.
So do men get on you after shows?
No, that's what I don't understand.
Because they're intimidated by you.
Men don't hit on me.
They don't hit on you.
Don't have problems. I don't.
No, because you're funny and you like men. They hit on you if they feel like you're no threat. You're a threat.
I don't know. Like this one guy, Kent Casper is his name, and he's one of the funniest comics I've ever seen. He thinks I'm the funniest female comic he's ever seen.
Yes.
He told me, he said he forgot that I was a woman, and I had to go up after that. Because I'm just funny. Like, he just thinks of me as one of the guys. That's
a compliment from a male comic because they're so competitive. I mean, that's a compliment, but it is.
Well, I guess,
I mean, male comics, I dated one for a long time.
I remember that one.
Yeah, they're And I just look
I'm
back
so-
and I go, what the hell? What was I doing? Why
I'm
didn't
so
you tell
glad
me?
you found this guy. I'm so glad. Really. I mean, the last
No, this
person.
was not up here listening. Where is he? Oh, he sucks.
What? Oh, okay.
no, so
It's a long time to be married, though. I will say.
he's a good one. He's a good one.
That's really, really good.
But but you are so funny, and I think you need to come back here and and try out new material every now and then.
Oh yes, I should.
You should.
Because no one can hear me here either, and this is just what I'm getting used to.
But we do have a lot of audience members.
Oh, I know, and I can really entertain them. I remember I had to entertain the troops in the Middle East. Okay.
What was that like?
That was quite amazing. Well, for one thing, the guy who was in charge of the tour, he thought OJ was innocent, so that was hard. And also, I had to go on, and the women that were following me were singers and dancers. Okay, they were 20 years old. So I used to tell the audience, again, you got to know who your audience is. I told them, I'm sorry, guys, but you're going to have your vegetable before you get your dessert.
That's so good.
But that's what you have to do. You got to think, who is the audience, and that kind of thing.
Were they scantily clad dancers and singers?
Yeah, they were really young. I mean, they were really young, and I wasn't quite as young as they were.
Where did you go? I would be terrified. Where did you go? Were you in?
I went to a lot of. I'm a Jewish woman, by the way. Good for me.
I kind of was.
Okay.
I'm fluid right now.
I'm a Canadian, Romanian Jewish girl.
So where did you go?
Okay, I somehow lost my way and ended up here. We went to all those places, and I don't even think they let Jews in some of the places.
Really? Well, I mean, I have to say it. I don't mean to say this if anybody's but you don't have the look, like I don't either. I don't think, but there can be a Jewish kind of look. You don't have that look.
No, I don't have the Jewish look.
No.
Yeah, but the Jewish look is so widespread. There's a lot of blue-eyed women.
There's so much mixed marriage now. It's kind of going away because everybody is married to everybody and everything, and so it's kind of mixed up now. But back in the day, I mean, if I look at pictures of my grandmother, seriously, it wasn't. I mean, she was not an attractive woman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she came from Russia, and she just maybe they were tougher then. I don't know, but she was very.
Well, my mother was Romanian.
Tough Jewish, and then my mother, beautiful. I don't know if you remember my mom. My mom
I do remember her.
You met her older, and she was so beautiful when she was young, but she was still young. She was like your mother. Get a couple of marriages under your belt.
My mother was really attractive, right? She died kind of young, so did my father, but she was extremely attractive. My father died, and she started dating and lying about her age. Yay.
You do have siblings. You've got two sisters.
Two sisters and a brother. The brother, I think, was the only Jewish lumberjack in North America.
So wait a minute. Where are you in the lineup? Are you the
I'm number one? I'm the oldest, but I don't act the oldest, and I don't even look the oldest now. But they're in Toronto, and I'm here in LA.
Oh, that's what it is.
I should have gotten married to some, whatever.
No. If they're in Toronto, it's cold. So you got to get this look on your face from the cold. Like New Yorkers have that. It's cold. I'm scared of the cold. So
no. I'm not into cold at all because I'm not athletic. I don't do any of that stuff. I don't know what to do with my doggy.
Yeah. Do you exercise? Do you work out?
I dance. I have 3-pound weights. Okay. And I dance.
That's good.
Yeah, for about 15 minutes,
I think that's all you do.
The Beach Boys. I dance to older bands who are just phenomenal. Phenomenal. I saw the Beach Boys last year. They were just great. And Brian, whatever his name is, was there too.
Yeah, I've seen them in concert when,
Yeah. And I saw the Who, and I saw ELO, and I saw the Moody Blues, everything.
All right, now
what I did.
Don't talk about these bands if you're trying to go with a young guy. You got to talk about.
Oh, that's right. I got to talk about. What do I talk about? Right?
Talk about some of these new people.
Rap.
Bad Bunny. There's a guy named Bad Bunny. Have you heard of Bad Bunny? Look him up. I don't know.
Well, I guess I'm a bad bunny because I'm not fertile anymore.
See, you're still quick, Charisse.
I can't help it.
Throw you a line and it comes right back to you.
Boingo, 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 boingo.
Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. It's really
We
weird.
have to sadly wrap now. We're at the end of our show, which is an hour and a half, but we love you and you're a regular. And, I love Grace Braga too. And so
Oh, yeah.
I think we need to have both of you on together.
Yeah, I think it would be funny.
I think that would be a really funny show. I do.
Yeah, I think it would
I
be.
have to have you guys do a couple of things for me. I need you all to ask some questions about bras. I'll let you know.
Yes, I will be happy.
No, I think it would be awesome. We'll let you know. Marie will be in touch with you about that. I need you and Grace.
Oh, that would be hilarious. Because I see to them.
And
That, a woman can have a 40 chest and just have a really thick back, and men don't know this. Isn't that true?
So true. It's so true. You're so funny. I love you. I'm so glad I've reconnected with you.
I'm really glad I've reconnected with you too. I really am.
We can go through these days. You're younger, but we'll go through all these days together. And I'd love to be your dating coach. I will, because I'm married now. I can live vicariously through you. And I can tell you, like Cyrano de Bergerac, I can tell you what to say online to people.
Okay. So I won't be myself. That's what my mother said. What an idea.
No, I just want to mess with them. So
Mm-hmm.
I just
you're into retroactive damage.
Yeah,
I remember.
I just want to mess with them a little bit. But if you find someone you really like, then you can take it from there.
Okay. Well, I thought I liked that guy. The last serious guy I had was the chairman of the board of the International House of Pancakes. Why don't we end on that?
That's perfect.
Yeah. It didn't work out. But that was, and he was deaf in one ear though, and his other eye was drooping. But you learn about compromise.
Especially nowadays. All right. I love you, girl.
I love you too. You have a great rest of the day, and we'll talk soon.
Very soon. We'll be in touch with you. Charisse Savarin, ladies and gentlemen. You got to end on a high note, right? Hysterical. But we do have the foot of the day coming up right now. Hey, welcome to RhondaShear.com, the best place to shop for your intimates and loungewear. We have great sales all the time. We have a full size range. So we think that beauty comes in all shapes and all sizes. And check out our new skin tones. Find your nude. Tell your friends there's no intimates anywhere like RhondaShear.com. Oh, what a great show. So much history and fabulousness. That's because you are watching Rhonda Shear Social Hour. And you can go to RhondaShearSocialHour.com, catch our show there. Go back and look at some of the old shows. We even have the fabulous Gilbert Gottfried if you go back a few weeks. Lots of fun things. Pick up your masks at No, you can go to RhondaShearSocialHour.com. You can also write to us there. We are rebooting Rhonda Up All Night. There's so many things going on, and we want to hear from you. So just keep watching. Tune in every Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Spread the word. Tell your friends. Share it with your friends. In the meantime, this is my new closing. If it's Florida, it's Rhonda Up All Night. Love and sizzle kisses. Nighty night.
Stuck in quarantine, don't know what to do. Hold on, baby, Rhonda, she's got you. Grab your computer, log on, baby, you got the power. It's the social distancing social life. The social distancing social